so we're gonna make pea soup. Pea soup is essentially like a ham-based soup, right? We're gonna use split peas, dried split peas. For every bag of 1 pound bag of peas, we're gonna use about a quart of water. I have the leftover ham water here. I'm gonna put the bone back in, but really what we're gonna do is boil these for about an hour. And then we're gonna add some vegetables into it and ham back into it. Those of you that don't like peas, this is totally different. It doesn't taste like peas. Trust me. I think a lot of people shy away from peas as a vegetable. But this really just kind of makes like a ham chowder. And it uses the peas to thicken up. So instead of being soupy and runny like a chicken soup, it's more like a chowder type. But we're gonna boil this. We're gonna boil for about an hour. We're gonna add some of the vegetables that we just cooked back. Carrots, potatoes, turnip. They're already cooked. The meat is already cooked, so we're just gonna add that when this is all ready to go. And the only seasoning I'm gonna use here, because we're using the water that we cooked the ham and all the vegetables in, is going to be pepper. It's got plenty of salt in it already. We're gonna let this just sit. We're gonna stir it occasionally, maybe like every 10 or 15 minutes or so, just to make sure nothing sticks at the bottom, which those peas will tend to clump and stick at the bottom if you don't stir it often enough. So every 15 minutes or so, we're gonna stir this up. This is what it looks like right now. Not very appetizing. It'll be delicious. I actually reduced this a little bit and I put it into a smaller pan. This takes about an hour, hour and a half total. So you cook it for about an hour, and you'll get this here. Can the camera see that?
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick ass boy.
Yes, it's delicious. You might have to add a little bit more water, but you want to simmer and boil until it turns into this very thick pea soup. That's why it's thick as pea soup. That's why that phrase is there. Diced up some of the ham. I like more ham in the soup than vegetables. And then diced up the carrots, potatoes, and turnip. We're gonna add that back into the soup and let that cook. One thing I did add while we were off camera and when this was simmering down, I added, after about 15-20 minutes when it was really boiling pretty well, I added one onion, a Vidalia onion. Diced that up really fine. I mean, it's soup, right? So we want it to be, I might actually have to add a little bit more water to this. Dice everything up nice and fine because it's soup. You want everything to fit on your spoon. And the only seasoning I'm gonna add to this is black pepper. And this is gonna be to taste. I like it a little bit spicy, so I add a lot of pepper. And I am gonna add just a tiny bit more water because this will continue to thicken. And it's not like other soups where if you add more water, you have to try to adjust the seasoning again. It's very strong ham flavor to it. So adding a little more water is not gonna hurt. That's good. Probably another 15-20 minutes and it'll be done. We added this to the ham water. If you use the water that you cook the ham in, you don't need to save the bone. Just try to get off as much ham as possible. And you definitely want to trim it down, trim all the fat and all that connective tissue off. Dice it up real fine and then put it in. If you don't want to make it the same day, you can just use the bone. All right, all you do is take that bone out of the fridge or the freezer. You can freeze it, throw it in a pot of boiling water, boil it off, take all of that, again, ham and everything off the bone, and you'll have the same result. It is like cement. Once it thickens up, you gotta be careful because it'll just burn to the bottom. Just turn it on low and let it stew. All right, look at it. So we're just gonna add. There's our finished pea soup. You can add a little bit more water. This might need a little bit more water too, especially tomorrow, right? So this will thicken up, it'll continue to thicken, and then tomorrow it'll be like paste. So we'll wanna add a little bit of water when we go to heat that up. But we had that one 10-pound smoke shoulder. We'll get 2 full meals out of the food from that. We'll also get, maybe like a half a gallon of pea soup, which will feed us for the week. Plus, we're gonna make hash out of this too. So we've got a ton of food and we didn't spend a lot of money on it, and it all tastes great. If you haven't tried pea soup before, you should really try it. It has a very strong ham flavor. Use all the vegetables from the ham too. I know a lot of people don't like peas, but give it a shot because it's delicious. Soup.
Be good.
It's delicious. And now I'm gonna eat it. I'm definitely gonna have some. I did add a lot of pepper. I do like a lot of pepper in it, so now you can taste that pepper. Really doesn't need salt because of the ham. There's definitely no threat of it falling off your spoon. And I just want to add this stuff, ham, it's definitely a fall to spring kind of cook, right? Not something you want to do in the middle of the summer because you're boiling for a long time. More of a fall, winter, early spring food. And this soup is super hearty. Super hearty. Sorry, can't help it. All right, hope you like it.